From the high desert southwest and an indiscreet shave den located in the deep recesses of Ouch's basement, broadcasting north from McMurdo Sound to Ice Station Zebra and east and west across all time zones to our members throughout the world, this is Badger and Blade Radio. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, Badger and Blade members, wherever you may be in this world. We are coming to you this week from Greer, Arizona, where we're spending a little bit of R&R time and doing a little bit of trout fishing while we can. As you can see by some of the pictures, it's an absolute gorgeous location that we're taping from. After our first short break, we will be talking about our pre-shave products. Now, are these products fact, fiction, or just marketing hype? Now, we do have a couple of testimonials that will be the pros and the cons of both sides of the story. Then after that, and after our second break, we will have our exclusive interview with Rudy Five from Ultimate Pen Designs. Stay with us.
We have this built-in auto shaver. Saves time, gives you a clean shave while driving to work. But the street has to be pretty smooth. Whoop. Now,
this all-electric shaver really gives you a clean shave. Yes, sir, it takes everything off.
Welcome back to Badger and Blade Radio. Before we get started on our discussion of pre-shave products, we did want to address the attempted coup and teaser hijack of last week by the mighty Eskimo, our steward for our brush forum. Well, there's a little-known group here called the Central Enablement Center. Although peaceful, all we normally try to do is to get members to buy more and more and more shave products. However, we do have a small strike force to address these attempted coups of Badger and Blade Radio. Over a 24-hour period, we did not give in to his demands of tacos, but we did force him to eat Taco Bell burritos for a full 24 hours. And then following that, we made him dry shave with an R41 open comb. So, that coup has been dissolved, and we are back on the radio. Now to our pre-shave product discussion. King Shave, Noxzema, Musco Glice, Pre-Shave Oil, Pre-Shave Glide Balm, Pre-Shave Gel, Pre-Shave Soaps, Pre-Shave Tonics, Pre-Shave Lotions. There are literally hundreds and hundreds of different pre-shave products from various manufacturers. Now, are these all hype? Are these true? Well, obviously they're being made for a reason. So after doing all the research, it really comes down to personal preference. We do have some testimonials from some of the folks, as we did put up a small discussion forum in the video library, and this comes from C. Vargo. Pre-shave products. My honest opinion, they are hype. Sorry, Mr. Lindsay. In my experience, the only time to use pre-shave is if you did not step out of the shower. Otherwise, the only pre-shave I need is a nice warm shower. I have used oils, Purasso, Noxzema, and some homemade pre-shave soap. That while they're all nice products, I don't think any of them increase shave performance. Thank you, C. Fargo, for giving that to us. And the response from Mr. C.B. Lindsay was, "You really think that pre-shave products are bunk, Chad? Next, you're going to tell me that turning the faucet on and off 3 times between passes doesn't reduce irritation. Come on. You know pre-shave soap is just another way to enjoy a delicious scent while adding a little extra opportunity for beard softening and slip for that first pass. Besides, I just bought a lifetime supply of Musco from my Canadian Underground supplier, and it better make a difference. I keep my homemade soaps in the shower and use them to wash my face, sort of a pre-shave, and a good use of the stuff in the sink. The truth is, I think we do as a pre-shave ritual is beneficial to some degree as long as it makes us happy. I personally find better results if I stick to a pre-shave soap or just a bit of conditioner on my face before the shower versus a thicker pre-shave oil. If I'm going to use an oil, I want it to be light and quick absorbing, and I'll use it at night after washing my face or after my shaving my face is dry. For what it's worth, I think the best pre-shave you can use is a puck of Williams. Rub it on your face, work up a lather with your hands, rinse lightly, and then lather with your favorite soaps. Williams may be hard for some people to lather, but it really doesn't soften the beard as well, or it does soften the beard very well, and it sure is slicker than snot. So as you can see, we have a variety of different opinions on whether pre-shave products worth. And finally, from one of our moderators, we have a fantastic version, or I should say a fantastic report of what he feels pre-shave products are like. And this comes from Jim, one of our moderators here on Badger and Blade, and I thought it really brought things home in this discussion. There were a lot of funny responses, and we do really thank everybody for giving us those responses. Probably the strangest one that we received was from good old Tony, and it was bacon grease. So this comes from Jim Ackville, one of our moderators here. My 2 cents, or from the length of this post, my $10. Pre-shave oils is one of those things that is an individual decision. Some on Badger and Blade think it's a waste of time, while others think it helped them get a better shave. Some say it clogs their razor and ruins brushes, and some say it does no such thing. Pre-shave oil is one of those things that brings out controversy, almost as much as honing techniques or whether you need to use an alum block. When I first started shaving in the 1950s, my teenage skin was very sensitive, but I had a wiry beard. The result was irritation after I shaved, particularly on my neck. The barber I went to, Sal, gave many straight shaves to his customers. I noticed he had an elaborate procedure in which he massaged some cream onto the face of the men being shaved and then put a hot towel on their face and neck. Next, he would take the towel, dip it in warm water, take off any of the remaining cream that he had applied, and then wet the customer's face and neck. Next, he took some substance from a bottle and would apply it to the individual face and neck, apply lather, and shave. I told Sal of my woe of irritation, and he gave me a sample bottle of this mysterious substance, which turned out to be a pre-shave oil used by some barbers. He instructed me on how to apply it, wet my face, rub a few drops of the oil onto my beard before lathering. For the first time, I was able to get an irritation-free shave. It may have been my technique was not the best, but I'm reasonably certain that my lathering and shaving skills did not develop overnight. Sal ordered a large bottle of PSO and lasted for many years. Eventually, I ran out of the oil Sal gave me and began to use other products, including the PSO made by Truefit and Hill. Later, I made my own. Eventually, I did not use it all the time, but when I had to shave twice a day, I did use it. As I got older, a lot of things changed. One thing that hasn't changed is I usually shave and then shower. First, my skin is not as sensitive as when I was a teenager. When I was younger, I put a finger on my neck and When I was younger, if I put a finger on my neck and a red mark would be there for several minutes. Second, my technique changed in many respects. I now use a 4-pass shave instead of 2. Not putting undue pressure on the razor has become second nature to me. I now wet my face in between passes, and I use a wetter brush when loading the soap. Unlike my teenage years, now I do not see much difference in my shaving with pre-shave oil as without. However, after I shave, I do feel a difference on my face. For some reason, the skin on my face feels smoother when I use pre-shave oil. So in summary, I don't think there's any easy answer for pre-shave oils. For some, it may be a benefit. For others, it is not necessary. So my definitive answer is that it depends on the individual. Well, my own personal experience is I've tried everything, from oils to gels, and the only one that I have found that works well is a pre-shave soap. The lime oil in the Musco Glice, or some people may know it as Mr. Glow, seems to make a difference to me. However, in finality in this discussion, what you'll find is it really is, and I'm not going to say it because I don't use the WMMV, I don't like that. It really is up to you, the member. If it benefits you and you feel you get a smoother shave, then definitely use it. If it does not, then don't use it. However, that's the beauty of our hobby, is that there are so many different types of products available to everyone that we can use what we want, we can get the shaves that we want, because ultimately in the end, it's how you feel about your shave that's important. So this controversy about pre-shave oils, whether they should be marketing hype or they're true or not true, will go on for eons. However, once again, in the bottom line, and we here at Badger and Blade would recommend use what you like. If it works for you, fantastic. Okay, after our next break, we will have our exclusive interview with Rudy Five from Ultimate Pen Designs, and we hope that you enjoy it, and stay tuned for more.
This is Bacchus Aftershave, the Conqueror. Bacchus, created by the Romans in order to make their enemy irresistible to women. Because when a man is irresistible, he has better things to do with his time than fight. Bacchus, the Romans conquered their empire with it. Go out and conquer yours.
And we're back, and after suffering the 24-hour torture for the attempted coup by having to eat Taco Bell burritos, your forum steward from the Brush Forum, the Mighty Eskimo, conducts our next vendor interview. We hope you enjoy it.
Good day, everyone. Welcome and thank you for joining us on Badger and Blade Radio. Joining me now is a custom shaving brush maker, as well as a custom pen maker. You can find out more about him on his website, ultimatependesigns.com. You can reach him via email at ultimatependesigns@comcast.net. And you can read some of the wonderful feedback regarding his work and see even more pictures in his vendor forum thread, Custom Brushes by Rudy Five. Member of Badger and Blade since 2009. Rudy, thank you very much for taking some time with us today. Welcome.
Where are you calling from? I see you're from Michigan, huh?
Yes, that's correct. We are coming to you live from Michigan, also known as the North Pole.
Grand Rapids, interesting. I used to live in Brownstown for 7 years, downriver. So I know a little bit of Michigan.
Thank you again for joining us, Rudy. So let's get right into it. When were you born in Frankfurt, Germany?
October 12, 54. I'm an old guy already.
Can you tell us a little bit about what your family was like? What did your mother and father do?
My mother was a homemaker. My father worked in the prison system as an EMT. He was running the local prison, actually, the little hospital there.
Any brothers or sisters?
I got two older brothers, yeah. And our family was kind of like common there. The boy, he was about 15, 16. He got actually a brown electrical razor for Christmas, so I remember that very well. I used it, but not a lot of fun. So eventually I drifted into scraping my whiskers off with a little toss-out razor, what call those? These one-time usables, and didn't use anything actually. I did a review every 3-4 days, but eventually, maybe 10 years ago, I started with soap and brush and so on.
So you were born and grew up in Frankfurt, and I understand that you began working with wood as a furniture maker. When did you start that?
Well, in Germany, I always lived in an apartment. You never had really a space to put up a workshop. So then I moved to the States here, had a nice big basement, and one day I needed to fix something in one of my closets. So I bought one of those electrical miter saws, and that was the beginning. And actually, what I was planning to do in that closet, pretty much like a shelf for my wife's shoes. My wife is only about 5'4", so there's a lot of wasted space under the hanging clothing. So I put up there a couple of shoe shelves for her. And I started doing little things like here and there and started making little furniture and did a lot of arts and crafts furniture, sticky style furniture. And eventually one day I needed a round dowel for my Morris chair, and I couldn't find anything, so I bought a little lathe and turned the dowel. That was the beginning, and I started making little bowls, little trinkets, pens, and eventually got a bigger lathe, and then start selling my pens. First I gave them all away to friends, and when you sell them, so you went to local church craft shows in the winter time. I started selling my pens, and then when I moved to New Jersey, my workshop was much smaller. So pretty much that furniture building was pretty much done for me, and continued to sell pens, making pens until I think 2008, the summer when the economy went down. I looked for something else, and my friend Tony from the Golden Nip, he started selling shaving brush knots, so I got me a couple, made my first brush for myself, and that's the end pretty much.
We're speaking with Mr. Rudy Fye of Custom Brushes by Rudy Fye. His website is ultimatependesigns.com, and you can reach him on Badger and Blade using the username Rudy Fye, V-E-Y. So, Rudy, how did you find Badger and Blade?
Actually, my wife found Badger and Blade for me. I was running out of my cologne. I couldn't find it in any local stores here. So she did a search on the internet and came across Badger and Blade. Correct, she found it actually. And check this out here. There's a shaving website. Shaving website? Yeah, it's like a forum. Are you crazy? Who would have a forum for shaving? I looked at it and I saw there's a lot of shaving forums around, and I actually had no idea it existed, to be honest with you. So then I looked around. There was other shaving forums. So at one time I was a member of 4 or 5. Pretty much now I'm going only to Badger and Blade. Badger and Blade I go a couple times a day. It's definitely in the morning, definitely evening, but something in between too. Other forum I go to maybe once, twice a week. That is pretty much. I used in the past, I was a member of 5 forums and I was actually very active and participating, but eventually you cannot do this. So, and then some of them are, I think, no longer exist, and some of them have ownership issues, or so I don't Badger and Blade so much. There's actually very good site which is not owner directed, so we can pretty much have a wide variety of topics which I like. And it's the gentlemanliness, I'm not really a stupid word, but the gentlemen on Badger and Blade, I really like that. That we have a good group of people, 50,000 or so in the meantime, I believe, and we all having the same interest, hobby, shaving, wet shaving. I like that actually. So, and that is for me number one forum, and will always will be number one forum in the world when it comes to shaving. And I also found eventually a source for my cologne, but started looking at Badger and Blade. I think it was in 2009, early in the year, or March or so, and I posted a brush or two that I made for myself, and somebody liked it and asked me if I would sell one or make one. That's the start of my brush making. Initially, I used to make brush and posted it to be sold, but eventually I realized it's much easier for me than people come to me and tell me what they want, and I make the brush what they like for them. So it's the way you do it now.
All right. When did you decide to move to the United States?
Well, I was here sent by my company in the early 90s to do some training on our local personal here. I went one evening to a pub, met a lady, and actually my later wife, well, she's my wife now. I came back about a year later, and that's it, pretty much. Love talking about America. Like in the movies, actually. You can write a book about that.
Oh, that's great. So how long have you been married then?
We are married since 97, so this year, I believe, 19 years already. Wow. Yeah, 19 years. 19 years in October, yeah. Wow.
Oh, that's excellent. That's excellent. So I see a photograph of you and some dogs on your website. What are the names of your dogs?
I got 3 Dachshund, smooth red Dachshund, name is Wolfgang, der Wunderhund. Then I got the little white Chihuahua, big Chihuahua though. His name is Federico Bartholomew, but we call him Freddy. And then the little hairy one is Annabelle. She is a little Cairn Terrier mix, and we got this since last year, February, after our schnitzel. Unfortunately left us. So 3 dogs. Our life rotates around our dogs, with our babies, our kids.
We spend a great deal of time on Badger and Blade discussing our equipment. So I think a lot of folks might like to know, what are you currently shaving with, Rudy?
Oh, Jesus. I use a variety of creams, soaps. I like, actually, I'm a fan of vintage soaps, like Old Spice. I got a lot of Mohr, actually, comes to also. I got a lot of Yardleys. I got a lot of Trumpet, original rose, palo based. I got a lot of Penhaligon, English Fern, palo soap. So I'm pretty much well set at the end of my life. The modern soaps are pretty much like, Parsing makes a great soap, and from the artisans, I think Mike still makes the best. Creams I'm using mainly when I travel. I travel a lot for my job, so I pretty much use creams pretty much every week on the trip. Easy for me to carry a little grease tube. I travel, I use a synthetic brush with a Mohr that I made for myself. At home, I've got about somewhere in the range of 25 to 30 brushes, mainly Badger. I'm not a big fan of synthetics, to be honest. Rotate them on a daily basis. Razors are very sensitive skin, so I'm mainly using cartridge razors. Then I used years ago straight razors. I always cut myself up, or even double-edged razors. I get really, really sore, so I'm very careful. So it's why I actually landed at Dorco cartridge razor.
So outside of shaving and brush making, what hobbies do you enjoy?
I like to fish. Unfortunately, I don't have the time anymore, and I love to shoot. So I'm going, I can at least once a week, shooting to a range. Fishing is pretty much used to vacation time, so unfortunately, but just don't have the time anymore to go out. Make shaving brushes to go shooting, and fishing is not possible. I make shaving brushes and go shooting once a week.
So what is a typical workday like for you, sir?
Well, I have not typical work days to begin with. I actually work in my company now for about 45 years, September 1st, the same company. I do a lot of traveling to our customers. I do the rest of them here. I work from home. I start early in the morning. If my dog gets me up early, I start normally about 5 o'clock latest. Check my emails, do my emails, answer my emails, do phone calls. The nice thing with working from home is you are pretty much free to divide your day in time. You are very effective for work. For me, it's a very early morning and then late afternoon. So in between, I take my wife out for a nice lunch. Over there, I'm not traveling. When I'm traveling, it's normally going up early in the morning, going to a customer site, solving a problem, starting the process up. I just got back Saturday morning at 5 o'clock from a trip to Colombia. And my flight was about 6 hours delayed, so instead of coming home by 11, I was home by 5. Sometimes not too much fun, travel so much.
What gives you inspiration when creating a custom brush?
Well, what I like to do for custom brushes is work together with the customer. So the customer has a certain expectation. Sometimes expectations will be too much. Otherwise, they have not really thought the brush completely through, or there's sometimes a combination they not working out. So what I love actually is the one-on-one contact, mostly via email with my customers, and help them, guide them to the brush they really like and enjoy and they really want. I would hate to tell somebody a brush he doesn't like. For me, the customer contact is very important. So, and I want to actually make the brush my customer wants, not the brush I want to make. That's the way I see my business.
How do you go about finding and selecting the knots and the handle materials that you use to make your brushes? Well,
knots. I use a lot of knots from Schäfmark in Germany. I use a lot of knots from TGN here in the States. So my main supply. I use also a Mohr synthetic brush knots that I get directly from them in Germany. So these are the three kinds that I use for my handle materials, the resins. I either buy them here locally, which gets less and less selection. I mainly import them actually from the UK, from England. There's a company that supplies all us, not only me, but also Simpson and other companies with the same resin. So Yet by Moonshava, for me, it's the same material as somebody else would use in their brushes.
Can you recall any examples of some rare or exotic or unusual materials that you've used to make a handle?
I used to make quite a number of ivory brushes in the past, but now I'm not doing it anymore because ivory is always a critical thing here. Some people like it. I think for a brush handle, I think it's still one of the finest materials you can make a shaving brush into. Ivory was freely available here to buy and sell an ivory brush. I did it, but I always did it only in America. I would never sell an ivory brush outside the country. But now with the ivory trade, it's so critical, and I have actually stopped making ivory brushes. It's also, there's not much ivory on the market anymore. I had one supplier which always had another problem, give me some nice pieces, but in the last half year, they didn't even answer my emails anymore, so I stopped making ivory brushes about a year and a half ago. I have used Samba stag antler, which is outstanding material, but again, the supplier, I have a high standard for my product and for my raw materials, so that's what I see actually the last few years for me, the availability of good resin stabilized wood, natural materials like horn, like antler, it's gone downhill actually. So unfortunately, a lot of antlers cannot be used because they have too much of a porous inside, porous area. So Samba stag was my favorite choice of antler, very heavy, very dense, but it's hard to find a good piece now. And affordable price too. Well, you can find pieces, but some people really charging a lot for a piece of antler.
Do you have any advice for someone just beginning wet shaving?
Yes, I would say read up a lot before you go into this, before you throw a lot of money on certain things. You then sure you read up a little bit on brushes and razors and soaps and so on. Ask good questions. A couple of years ago, I saw a lot of stuff coming up over and over again, just typically regurgitated by newbies. Do a search before you ask the question. Actually, that's my advice. There's a lot of information to be found on the web, on the different shaving forums, so go there, and I recommend go to Badger and Blade. It's, I think, one of the most comprehensive shaving forums. Go there, take a look at it, and research, and then if you have a question, ask. Ask the question in the right forum. If you don't ask about a shaving brush in the soaps forum, and so on.
Oh, that is very, very good advice. I'm sure the mod team will be extremely happy to hear that. So, Rudy, Badger and Blade has a long-standing reputation as that of a gentlemanly forum. So, can you tell us, what is your idea of a gentleman?
Well, it can be... Actually, not too long ago, I was going to a international conference, and I stopped at a rest stop, and there was an older couple, well, about my age, I would say, and I held the door for that lady, let's say, and she said to me, you don't find this anymore these days. That's for me like, I think, a gentleman, still holding the door for the ladies, So, and just being cautious and friendly with people, that's what I think is a gentleman.
Joining me today on Badger and Blade Radio has been Mr. Rudy Fye, custom shaving brush maker, custom pen maker. You can find out more about him and his work on his website, ultimatependesigns.com. You can reach him via email at ultimatependesigns@comcast.net or through the Badger and Blade website using username Rudy Fye. That's RUDY space VEY. Rudy, thank you again for taking some time out for us, and we hope you enjoy the rest of your holiday weekend.
Thank you. You too. Bye-bye.
Finally, on Badger and Blade Radio, we'd like to let everybody know we will be catching up on news and events around badgerandblade.com on an upcoming episode, as we did have some time constraints for this episode. However, that being said, the 10th official Badger and Blade Bingo over in the Nibs section that was hosted by forum steward Eric has just completed, and we'd like to congratulate Rebecca, better known as Badger Babe, here on the forum for her very first bingo win. Now, Over in the clubs and brotherhoods on the 3BSC, there will be a bingo game starting shortly, so please keep an eye out for that. And you're eligible if you have played one of the general Badger and Blade bingo games. Also, as of this taping, we did not have a winner of the Gold Dollar Modification Contest. However, when that is updated, we'll make sure to get the winner as well as pictures on one of our future episodes. As always, we'd like to thank the moderators and the stewards for all their hard work, the owners and administrators for giving us this wonderful site, and most importantly, you, the member, as you are the lifeblood of BadgerandBlade.com. I'm your host, Skyside, and we hope you'll join us for our next episode.